Okay, may we ask everyone to please settle down? We are about to begin our much awaited program. Settle down, everyone. Okay, 30 seconds. Hindi ko na to sasabihin. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's start. Okay. I guess that's more than a Senate minute. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians, guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is past President David Ackerman. It is with great honor and anticipation that we gather here today to celebrate a very momentous occasion. And we are very privileged to welcome none other than His Excellency, the Israel Ambassador, who happens to be a very dear friend of mine, Ambassador Ilan. Please, round of applause to the Ambassador, who will be properly introduced later in that specific part of our program. So yes, let us embrace this opportunity, fellow Rotarians, to engage in meaningful conversations, broaden our perspectives, and really forge lasting connections. For it is in these moments that we truly become catalysts for positive change. On that note, may I call RC Makati President Bing Matoto, Bonifacio Global City President Sandra Cheng, JM Yupanco of Premier District, and PN Will Parone, is it Parone? Of Fort Bonifacio, Global City, to jointly call the meeting to order.
On behalf of the Rotary Club Makati, I'd like to call this meeting to order.
On behalf of Rotary Club for Bonifacio Global City, now I call this meeting to order.
On behalf of Rotary Club of Makati Premier District, I hereby call this meeting to order. Thank you.
Also, we ask IPP Rita Gonzalez de Llosa to call the meeting to order on behalf of RCM EDSA. We have IPP Rita there, please.
On behalf of the Rotary Club of Makati EDSA and our TGP, Jen Ruin, I now call this joint meeting to order.
Thank you very much. Before we proceed, I'd like to remind everyone that the flow of our program is such that we will be required to be snappy and sensitive to the time of our program in order for us to get the most out of this meeting. So a friendly reminder, we are under the clock, dear friends. So please let us all rise for the invocation to be led by PN Will Parone. And please remain standing for the national anthem and the RC Makati hymn. Thank you.
Now that everyone already stood, I pray, Heavenly Father, as we gather today in fellowship and service, we lift our hearts to you in gratitude. We thank you for the blessings of Rotary International, for the opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals, and for the chance to make a positive impact in our community and the world. Guide our discussions with wisdom and understanding. Grant us the patience to listen, the openness to learn, and the courage to act. May the principles of Rotary, integrity, fellowship, service, and leadership be ever present in our hearts and minds. In your name we pray. Amen.
We have any members of the RC Makati?
Witness a history in our lifetime as we bring back to life what a true Rotarian should be. Service above self, unity in diversity, and inclusivity, all for one and one for all. This is our chance. This is our time to rise up and be the example of what humanity can achieve. Together, let's create hope in the world. So let us sing with one voice the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
I see a lot of members of RC Makati in attendance. Please, let's sing our song.
We're the Rotary Club of Makati, and together we stand tall. We are leaders with integrity, always ready to serve humanity, always living by the four-way test, building goodwill and peace along the way, giving hope to the world. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, prepared to aid our fellow men. As true Rotarians we live to lead. We believe in service above self, and this is why we succeed. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, and together we stand proud. We are leaders with integrity, always ready to serve humanity, always living by the four-way test, building goodwill and peace along the way, giving hope to the world. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, giving hope to the world. The Rotary Club of Makati.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You may now take your seats. So for a good 80% of everyone in attendance, we are Rotarians who believe in certain core tenets, and these tenets could be summarized by the four-way test. And we invite IPP Rita Gonzalez de Llosa to please lead us with the four-way test of Rotary International. IPP Rita.
Good afternoon to each one of you. The four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And our answer to all of these questions is yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, IPP Rita. Indeed, as Rotarians, our only answer that we have to think of is yes, 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 and yes. We now move on to the acknowledgement of guests and visiting Rotarians. When your name is called, if you are here and if you can hear me, please take a moment to rise so that everyone can acknowledge you. Past District Governor Tony Kila, our very own. Warm round of applause. Ann Meli Parungaw. Yay! Sorry, PP Fred, ha? We're not gonna acknowledge you. Mas sikat yung asawa mo eh. No, that's what we do. We make sure that everyone is comfortable and feels the love the RC Makati way. Welcome, Tal Blonstein or Blonstein? Blonstein. Tal, guest of Rotarian Nick Aboitis. Andre Yap, guest of Rotarian Philip Sullivan. Welcome, Andre. Kylie Zoe Alego from Saving Ruby, our beneficiary. Okay, let me try this. Welcome as well to Kalashnikov Karabania. Kalashnikov Karabania, also from Saving Ruby. Also, welcome Tristan Karabania, mother of the beneficiary. Ryan Larobis or Larobis, guest of past President Junjun Dairit. Welcome also Iris Alonso, ARC representative. Adrian Bonifacio, Third Morano, ARC representative. Welcome. Oh, past President Richard Carino from RC Makati Gems, one of our favorite daughter clubs. Brother, welcome. Rotarian Ivy Makainan. Ivy, welcome, Ivy. Mitzi Parungaw. Incoming spouse of incoming member Patrick. Okay, all right. Welcome. Also, Dr. Alan Racho from St. Luke's Medical Foundation Incorporated. Dr. Benjamin Campomanes, also from St. Luke's. Welcome. Vernon Velasco from the Tribune. And last but certainly not least, Cielo Legaspi, guest of Rotarian Sunny Jr. Warm round of applause for everyone. We now move on to the greeting and salutations to birthday celebrants and wedding anniversary celebrators. Oh, I see him here. Past President Cesar Campos. Happy birthday, February 7. Stephen Javier, February 9. Andre De Jesus, February 9. Director Brian Liu, February 10. Oh, past President Rene Limhoco, my classmate. Happy birthday, February 11. Rotary Ants Marga Akende, February 6. Paige Aboitiz, February 10. Melanie Lopez, February 12. And happy wedding anniversary to Jojo and Joy Concepcion, 11th of February. Last but not the least, I see Bom here. Happy anniversary to Director Bom and Ami Villatuya. Did I forget anyone? Did I miss anyone? So now we move on to our birthday song. May I ask Sunny Jr. Sunny Jr. Sunny Tambunting Jr., classmate. Can you please also PP Jun Jun Dairit. Please do the honors of sharing with us your golden voice. PP Jun Jun.
It is your birthday, their wedding day. Let's celebrate this important day. We greet you deep in our hearts still. A happy birthday and a happy wedding.
Here, here. Thank you. Thank you, PP Jun Jun and Sunny Jr. Okay. So now we call on each of the club presidents to share with us if there are any announcements. This is the time where we have you announced your club this is the club functions and committee announcement section. May we start with the ladies? Who goes first? TGP Sandra. So no announcements from TGP Sandra. How about TGP JM? JM Yupanco. Yeah, president's time. It is your president's time. One by one. Yeah. Okay. So we'll have very brief announcements from each president. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Fellow Rotarian and esteemed guests and His Excellency Ian First, the Israeli ambassador to the Philippines. Welcome, sir. Today, we are honored to have with us the person who is country Israel, who has been the talk of the world, and we have surely want to know more about the current situation of his country. And good enough, as a Rotarian, we can do partnership in so many ways to elevate our communities who might be facing adversities. I would like to thank my members who of the Rotary Club of Fort Bonifacio Global City who are present here today. And that by our constituent governors, Governor Edna, who has been shown support and always and all in our club undertakings. To all my classmates and fellow Rotarian, let this Rotary gathering be a part of our learning activities of promoting peace and understanding. Thank you for the opportunity for that. Let's enjoy the camaraderies. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. I have to correct myself. So many papers being passed on my side. We'll go back to the part of the program where we recognize our new Paul Harris Fellows. Later, we will resume with the president's time if there are other announcements first. But before I call on Governor Tony, last chance for other committee announcements. Do we have any? None. Okay, Governor Tony, can we please have the one and only Governor Tony Kila as we are to acknowledge our new very generous Paul Harris Fellows.
Thank you, David. It's my pleasure to recognize our new Paul Harris Fellows. First, may I call on Rowena Marie Cyril Ferreresa. And can I ask the daddy to receive the pin for Rowena? President Bing? Then may I call on one of our baby Rotarians, Nick Aboitis.
So for non-Rotarians, the ceremonial pinning that's happening right now, just for your information, is an acknowledgement to the new Paul Harris Fellows who donated at the very minimum $1,000. So thank you for your generosity, gentlemen.
Thank you, David. Now, I'm again also very pleased and honored to present to you our newest Rotarian whom we will be inducting today. Can I call on Patrick Parungao? Patrick, classification is digital technology. And can I call on his proposer, the dad, Fred Parungao? And also to witness the induction here, can I call on the lovely better half of Patrick and Nelly Parungao, maybe, to witness your son. Now, can I call on our ever charger, past President June Dairit?
I'm not the ever charging. It only happens that the people who are supposed to give this charging are not present during this meeting. Anyway, Patrick, I'm sure you've already been properly briefed and by our distinguished past District Governor Tony Kila. Let me just remind you that you are joining a very prestigious club. And the prestige of this club is not because of who we are, but because of what we have done, what we continue to do, and what we intend to do in the future. So our prestige is based on action. So, Let me just ask you a few questions. No? First of all, are you willing to pay your dues to the club on time?
Yes.
Yes. You heard that? Yes. Yeah. All right. Number two, are you willing to faithfully attend the meetings and the fellowships of the Rotary Club of Makati?
Yes.
Good. Are you willing to participate in the club's projects?
Yes, definitely.
And are you willing to volunteer to lead in areas where your expertise is needed?
Yes.
Are you willing to abide by the four-way test?
Yes.
Do you know the
Yes.
four-way test? Not yet. Well, anyway, let me just refresh my memory.
I know the answers all yes.
Código,
Yeah.
código.
Okay, is it the truth? Well, you know, truth is really the foundation of everything. Secondly, is it fair to all concerned? So truth leads to fairness. Fairness is equivalent to justice. Third is, will it build goodwill and better friendships? When there is justice, there is peace, goodwill, and better friendships. And then finally, is it beneficial to all concerned? When there is peace, everybody benefits, therefore there is progress. So, truth, justice, truth,
Fairness.
fairness, justice, peace, progress. All right? So if you can live with that, I think we're going to be in good standing. All right. I think that's all. You answered yes to everything. President Bing? Huh? President Bing?
Okay.
What?
So, past President Junjun, I take it that the new inductee is supercharged thanks to you.
Yes, so may I ask President Bing?
May we
President
na-
Bing, our inductee Patrick Parungaw is now ready to be inducted into our club.
And due to the solemnity of this occasion, may we please ask all Rotarians to please rise. Thank you.
Kindly raise your right hand, Patrick. I state your name, please. After being sworn in
After being sworn in
as a member of the Rotary Club of Makati,
as a member of the Rotary Club of Makati,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will abide by,
that I will abide by,
follow, and uphold
follow, and uphold
all the provisions of the Constitution
all the provisions of the Constitution
and bylaws
and bylaw
of Rotary International,
of Rotary International,
as well as those of my Rotary Club,
as well as those of my Rotary Club,
and fulfill to the best of my ability
and fulfill to the best of my ability
all the duties and responsibilities
all the duties and responsibilities
of my membership.
of my membership.
I pledge to advance
I pledge to advance
the object of Rotary
the object of Rotary
and to exemplify Rotary's maxim,
and to exemplify Rotary's maxim,
service above self.
service above self.
I further swear
I firmly swear
to promote awareness
to promote awareness
of the theme of Rotary International
of the theme of Rotary International
in 2023-2024,
in 2023 and 2024
create hope in the world,
to create hope in the world,
and of the duties and responsibility
and on the duties and responsibilities
that go with it.
that go with it.
All these
All these
I pledge freely and voluntarily,
I pledge free and voluntarily,
without any mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Patrick.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Patrick, congratulations and welcome to RC Makati. And in strict RC Makati tradition, we give you the bib, and all members of RC Makati present will be signing on the left side of the room, signing the autograph that is your bib. How lucky, how amazing that you're inducted with no less than the Israel ambassador, His Excellency Ilan Fluss. to witness this amazing occasion. So welcome, welcome. Okay, RC Makati members, please make it snappy as we still have lots of items to discuss in our agenda leading to the main event, which is the much-awaited speech of His Excellency Ambassador Ilan Fluss. True to RC Makati tradition, Patrick, welcome. Welcome to our club, a club that we're very proud of. And this is the club that you turn to seeking for real brotherhood, and we offer our friendship to you. Welcome. BP Tony Lopez is around. You're next. Okay, let's wind up. Let's wind up. We want to make sure that there's more than ample time for His Excellency to speak, but equally, we'd want to make sure that there's more than ample time for the open forum, which we get more value of. Okay. At this point, we now call on past President Tony Lopez to tell us something about the next portion, which is the check turnover with St. Luke's Medical Center Foundation Incorporated. BP Tony, take it away.
Thank you, David. I can't be brief. I need to give a background there, PP David. Okay. Fellow Rotarians, a year ago, during the term of IPP Michael Escalier, Dr. Andrew Prieto and I formed a new medical mission project. It is the first for RC Makati. It is an expensive project, but it saves the lives of children who are afflicted with leukemia. And these are indigent children. Okay? And before we hand over to St. Luke our third check for the third patient, I would like to take this opportunity to present our first two Saving Ruby patient. I'll just give a background on them, and then I will ask IPP Michael and Doc Andrew Prieto to bring them forward. So you will meet, you guys are the guardian angels, you will meet your own child beneficiaries. They are, first and foremost, Kylie Zoe Allegro, 2 years old, afflicted with leukemia from San Andres Bukid, Manila. The second is Kalashnikov Lopez Carabanya, no relation to me, 7 years old, from Barangay Cruz Naligas, Quezon City. They were approved by our partner, Dr. Alan Racho, of the Pediatric Blood Disorder and Tumor Unit of St. Luke. So again, this project is solely RC Makati in partnership with St. Luke Medical Center, who will be doing the treatment. So, Ria, could you arrange for Doc Andrew and our patients and IPP Michael to come forward to present our patients and their parents? And their parents, please. We were supposed to present the two children 3 months ago, but Dr. Racho said that the children have to be strengthened before they're brought before you. Okay. Can I have a few words from any of the parents? Would you like to say anything? Anything from the parents? Would you like to say anything? You know, you can ask them, can you take care of my children after their treatment? And I think many members here will be more than eager to take care of them. Okay, thank you. And now for the...
Thank you so much for supporting the treatment of our children po. God bless you more po.
Okay, we proceed to the next part. Michael, Andrew, can you stay behind? Okay, thank you. Can we now call on Dr. Alan Racho and the president of St. Luke Medical Center Foundation, Dr. Benjo Campomanes, to please come and receive our check for the third Saving Ruby child beneficiary. And President Bing Matoto, please. Thank you very much. PP David, I give it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, PP Tony Lopez. And congratulations once again. And for our project partners, we do thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this regular tie-up with you. Now, before our main event, we have the continuation of our President's Time. Since we're done already with TGP Sandra, maybe we can call on TGP Jennifer Ruin for the announcements from your club.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm TGP Jen of Makati EDSA. I'd just like to invite everybody to the Greatest Love of All concert that's coming February 9. Our very own PE, Rachel Rule, will be one of the performers. So hope you can join us, join and support the pre-Valentine dinner benefit concert. Thank you.
Oh, Tent City. Yeah, this is where we have our very own attorney Mike Toledo being featured there. So, congrats in advance. You have very good singers in the persons of Attorney Joey Lina and Mike Toledo. Now we call on. Okay, may we request President Bing Matoto for his President's Time first? And then we'll have President J.R.
Thank you, David. Well, I'm honored to stand before you today to express my heartfelt gratitude for the tremendous success of the Best of Broadway and the Classics fundraising concert. This event truly showcased the best of our club's spirit and commitment to service. First and foremost, I want to extend a special thank you to PP Eddie Yap, our concert impresario. Eddie, whose dedication and hard work were instrumental in bringing this event to life. From the initial concept to the final production, PP Eddie's passion for excellence has left a lasting impact on all of us. I also want to recognize PP Louis Aseoche for his exceptional leadership in overseeing the preparations for this concert. His attention to detail and tireless efforts ensured that every aspect of the event was executed flawlessly. To all our members who purchased tickets and sponsored the concert, your support has been invaluable. Your generosity has helped us to achieve our fundraising goals and make a positive impact in our community. Of course, I would also like to express my gratitude to RC Makati Premier District for bringing the project actually to us, for their excellent collaboration with their team and their support. Their partnership has been instrumental in making this event a success. Thank you, JM. And I look forward to future opportunities to work together. The concert was a full house affair with A-class attendees and a magnificent production that entertained us all night long. It was truly, truly a night to remember, and I hope we can make it an annual tradition. I'm also pleased to share with you the success of our recent event, Meet the Startups, which marked the beginning of our Hatch project for this Rotary year. In this regard, I want to extend my gratitude to Director Bom Villatuya, Bom, for his leadership in spearheading this project, as well as Startup Village for their collaboration, and of course, our new member, Jay Bernardo, who helped put it together. We've created a platform for aspiring entrepreneurs to showcase their ideas and connect with potential investors. I'm thrilled to announce that session 2 of our Hatch project, focusing on startup investing, is coming up soon. I encourage all of you to continue supporting this program as we work towards nurturing the next generation of business leaders. In addition to our project activities, I'm excited to announce as well our first off-site luncheon meeting for this Rotary year, which will take place on February 13 at Barfintos Restaurant in BCG. This meeting will provide us with the opportunity to tour the BGC Greenway project of Charlie Rufino and unveil the new park marker. I encourage all of you to bring your Rotarians to join in the celebration of love and friendship within our Rotary family. Again, I express my gratitude to Charlie, PP Charlie, and PP Carlo Rufino for their efforts in organizing this off-site meeting. As many of you are aware, Davao is currently experiencing historic flooding. Our Disaster Relief Committee has coordinated with RC Davao for a relief mission to provide mats and blankets to families in need. Again, I want to thank Director Bom Villatuya and Chris Ferraresa for their swift response and ongoing efforts to support those affected by this disaster. And lastly, I'm pleased to share the news that our club has finally received our BIR Certificate of Registration as a donor institution. All those guys who can write out the check, it will be tax-free from the donor's tax. This is valid again until October 2026. I'm looking at you, Michael. This certification ensures that our service projects will be funded and that donors can receive tax benefits for their contributions. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Thank you, President Bing. Are we still on schedule? Okay, last but not the least, we'll have a very brief President's time from President JM. Please.
Thank you, David. Greetings to His Excellency Ambassador Ilan Fluss. Good afternoon, everyone, and I'd like to thank RC Makati for having us for this joint meeting this afternoon. We would like to utilize our time to give our appreciation and gratitude to RC Makati from our joint charity event, The Best of Broadway and the Classics. You can see on the screen. This was last Friday at the 5th, last February 6th. So may I request Bing Matoto to come forward, and also past President Louis Asioche. Not here. Okay, in the absence, may I request RCM Chief of Staff Ron Dotaro to come forward, please. Come on. You work hard. Okay, and also may we request also past President and producer Eddie Yap to please come forward so we can give our certificate of appreciation, who worked tirelessly for the success of our joint charity project. Thank you again, and we hope to continue doing worthwhile projects with our mother club, RCM. Thank you.
We'll be acknowledging past President Eddie Yap. Congratulations. Please, a warm round of applause for PP Eddie. A few words from PP Eddie. Congrats once again.
Thank you. Just briefly, let me thank our daughter club, Rotary Club of Makati Premier District for this distinct honor. It was a pleasure to do this concert for both our club. And I'm happy that through this concert, uh, both RC Makati and Premier District have the distinction of presenting a production which was very well received by the audience. All of us worked very hard on this, so I would like to thank you and express my appreciation because without your work, this production would not have been brought to the audience. And I would like to request your forbearance if there were any inconvenience that were caused to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our producer, perennial producer who always outperforms his previous record, past President Eddie. Now we go to the main event of our Rotary meeting. All eyes, all ears, as we call on, sabihin ko sana past president, you might say friendship over. Okay, Director Chris Ferrareza to please do the honors of introducing our most esteemed guest, Ambassador Ilan Fluss. Chris?
Thank you, IPP David. And yes, okay lang kung fast. A pleasant afternoon, everyone, especially to His Excellency Ilan Fluss. I have the honor to introduce to you His Excellency Ilan Fluss, Ambassador, Embassy of Israel in Manila. He was born on December 1965 in Haifa, Israel. He served in the Israel Navy for 5 years. Ambassador Ilan graduated from the University of Haifa with a degree in psychology and an MBA from the University of Derby. He joined the Foreign Service in 1994, where he represented Israel in a variety of capacities. Actually, earlier, he requested me not to read anymore the many accomplishments that we have. But I thought it's not fair to all concerned, especially His Excellency himself, if I will not read them. So apologies, Ambassador Ilan, but I have to. He served successively as Deputy Chief of Missions at the Embassy of Israel in the Philippines from 1995 to 1998. A spokesperson and cultural attaché at the Embassy of Israel in The Hague, Netherlands from 1998 to 2000. Served in the military's Asian Division from 2000 to 2004. Acting ambassador and later on as the Deputy Chief of Mission at the Embassy of Israel in Pretoria, South Africa. While in South Africa, he was also responsible for Israel's diplomatic relations with Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and Swaziland. I'm sorry. Counselor at the Permanent Mission of Israel to the UN in 2006. Director for Policy Planning and External Relations, and later on as Deputy Head of Mashab from 2009 to 2016. A Special Envoy for the Bureau of the Director General from 2016 to 2018, and eventually as the Deputy Head of the Economic Division at Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs from 2018 to 2021. He was appointed as the Israeli ambassador to the Philippines on October 2021. He is married to his wife, Gila. Did I pronounce that correctly, Ambassador? Gila, and have 4 children. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Ilan Fluss.
Well, Chris, you couldn't resist it, I guess, so I give up. A minute. Okay. In order to make it also a bit more visible, I prepared also a presentation, and I hope it will help. Let me say, first of all, Magadang Apon, Sayon Lahat, just a little bit of my rusty Tagalog. And I consider myself what you would call a diplomat balikbayan, serving here in 95. And my second son was born in Makati Med, and before the time of St. Luke's band, so it's okay. So he was born here, and so it's really great to come back to the Philippines, and because this is really, I requested to come back as ambassadors. I was actually competing, many people who wanted to come here because it's one of the most, I think, friendly countries in the world. So it's really great to be here. Thank you for David, and thank you Bing, and thank you for all of you really for the Rotarians having me over. It's my first interaction with Rotary at this round, but I can tell you that when I was here in the 90s, we had together at least one humanitarian project which had to do with people that were affected by the Pinatubo eruption. As you know, so many people lost properties, life, everything. So we did some projects there together with Rotary, but this was in the 96, if I'm not mistaken. I want to talk, and I'm going to talk about two issues at this opportunity. I'll discuss also with David. I want to talk first of all on the situation in Israel, and I'll give a briefing on where we are today, quickly on what happened and what led to this situation. And after that, a relationship between Israel and the Philippines, focusing on opportunities for collaboration. And hopefully I'll do my best to leave enough time for a Q&A, for an open discussion. I don't like giving long lectures, although diplomats will tend to talk too much. So I'll try and be as short as I can in order to leave time for questions and answers, and I'm happy to address any kind of question. Don't worry, I'm Israeli and we're used to it. Let's see if it's working. Okay. So quickly, where we are, Middle East, that we understand what we're talking about. This is small spot, which is Israel, surrounded. This is Sinai, this is Egypt. Of course, you can see the Saudi Arabia, you can see Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and then of course here, Iran and Yemen. So Iran, Iraq, Yemen. So this is a very complicated region. And let me move to the next slide, which will give you a closer understanding, because I think it's very important to understand the proximities and why it is so challenging. End of the day, it is a very small area. So this is the state of Israel. Here, this is a small bit of Gaza, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and soon we'll talk about what's happening in the different borders, enormous Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and the other Iran. So this is just to put us where we are. A brief history. Of course, 1948, Israel was established. I'm skipping, of course, many years and the Holocaust before, but 1948, the homeland of the Jews. Immediately after Israel was established, May 15, the Arab countries surrounding us announced the war of independence. A few more wars later, 1967, when Israel was able to conquer West Bank, Gaza, and so on. Gaza used to belong to Egypt until 67. West Bank was Jordan. 93, the Oslo process, which led to the establishment of the Palestinian Authority. 2005 is where Israel disengaged from Gaza to the international border, to the 1967 border. So Israel was not occupying Gaza, because many people say that the war in Gaza is because of occupation. There was no occupation since 2005. We uprooted 9,000 people from the homes, Jewish communities, and moved them into Israel. 2006, there were elections in Gaza, which led to the elections of Hamas. 2007, Hamas violently took over the government in controlling Gaza. Until then, we had what you call Palestinian Authority, which is supposed to be working with Israel. Hamas even murdered some of the leaders of Palestinian Authority in Gaza. And since then, since 2008 until today, basically the government in Gaza was actually Hamas. And what does it mean when I say that? And just to say that since then, we had about 6 operations vis-a-vis the Hamas after serious terror attacks against Israel. So what is Hamas? I'll not go into too many details. You can see Hamas is supported by Iran. Hamas is teaching children hatred. So I'll talk about what they teach them, maybe here. Hamas, in its charter, which is the founding document of the Hamas, calls for the annihilation of the state of Israel and for murdering Israelis and Jews. This is part of the charter. It's a terror organization, Islamist organization, which had not, and it says there that Hamas will continue to attack Israel and would not recognize the state of Israel, which means that there is no political thinking in Hamas. It's a terror organization. It's not a political organization, but that is the government of Gaza. So when we hear reports of the Ministry of Health of Gaza, it's actually Hamas reporting the number of casualties, etc., etc. And that's the challenge that we have. Hamas also operates the schools. I mean, all the systems today in Gaza are operated by Hamas, including summer camps, school, which means they teach the children to be suicide bombers and to be terrorists and to hate Israel. So that they teach hatred. So I'll talk later about Iran because it is extremely important to understand the role of Iran. So a few words, what was Gaza before October 7? October 7 is, I think it's a date that we will not forget in Israel. It's a turning point. Things would not be the same as they were for many, many reasons that you can certainly understand. But in Israel, this is will be considered as a national trauma, as we remember October 6, which is the Yom Kippur War, different scale. Until October 7, we trying to create a better economy and better life in Gaza, including Israel was actually employing in Israeli farms, construction, and other jobs. 20,000 people from Gaza were working in Israel, bringing a good income in order to upgrade their lives. Today, we know that a lot of them were, at the same time as they're working in Israel, collecting all the information, or I'd say intelligence, that they need in order to plan their attack. Economic development, it's a lot of effort. For an example, construction and allowing building material to come in. As you can imagine, so much of this building material, instead of construction, went into the construction of the terror tunnels of the Hamas. Water projects, electricity, including solar, they had their own, they were independent in electricity, in water, they became independent. Facility, we upgraded and invested in passage facilities in order to allow people and goods to go in easy and smooth via Israel, to make sure there are no terrorists, at the same time to make it easy for them to cross. Financial resources, they got income, they got money. We were working on developing a seaport in Gaza, access to natural gas, what we call the Gaza Marine. There is potential for natural gas in the shores of Gaza. And we were in the process of developing it. We were supporting and assisting. Our idea was that the main security threat to Israel came from the West Bank and actually not from Gaza. This was an assessment that we had. On the same time, Hamas was planning October 7 attack, and we know by now that this was not an immediate, some kind of a thing that was planned in a day or a week. This was planning of years, more than 700 kilometers of tunnels, and you can see some of the footage of those tunnels. They had operational plans, including maps. They knew exactly how many security in each community in the border, where is the location of the military bases. They had all the information, they had war plans, units were assigned to specific communities. It was a well-planned attack on Israel, including what to do, meaning those who had to murder, those who were in charge of kidnapping. Everything was planned. Just a comparison, when we're saying that this is a national trauma, just to look at the figures, we're talking about more than 1,200 Israelis that were murdered on that day, on October 7. You can see here, this is the numbers of fatalities compared to other terror attacks that are known, September 11, almost 3,000, in Mumbai, Madrid, Paris attacks, and here we are in the Philippines. So these are the numbers. Now, when you look at the ratio compared to the size of the population of the country, Israel is a country of 9.7 or 9.6 million Israelis, then when you talk about the ratio, you can see the ratio. This is the biggest number of casualties in a terror attack when you talk about the ratio of the size of the population of a country. So for me, and soon I'll show a little bit of the footage, but very briefly, what is so disturbing? I mean, there are many, many factors to it. But number one, of course, the ideology of Hamas, which was to murder civilians, and until now, to use human shield. People asked me the other day, there were claims why Israel was bombing in a humanitarian, supposed to be safe place in West Gaza. And the answer is, when the Hamas is launching attacks from those places, we have to respond, and they don't care about life of their own Palestinians or, of course, Israelis. So they were targeting civilians, children, babies, elderly people, etc. This was an investment of years. It's not some kind of a one-time thing. It was so well planned and orchestrated, it's terrifying. The atrocities included sexual crimes, murder, burning of people alive, rape of women, not by one, and at the same time, mutilation, sort of the special representative of the United Nations Secretary General was in Israel until a couple of days ago. She was in Israel for 2 weeks. She said she couldn't sleep when she saw the evidence. And there's so much evidence and so much information. She left a team of 10 people. They're working there for 2 weeks, and they stayed behind for 1 more week in order to collect all the evidence on this. I'm talking here about the sexual crimes that were done in this one day. It's horrifying. And the atrocities, it's just difficult to imagine. It took me about 1 month to sleep again at night. And many Israelis who until now are afraid even to be in Israel, and few left. On the other hand, many are, so now talk about the Israeli response. For me, the two lines here, maybe on a personal level, are the most sort of disturbing. One is we have a recording of a Hamas operative who called his parents using the victim's phone, called his parents and over the WhatsApp, and we have the recording, and telling them, "Father, mother, you should be so proud of me. I just now killed in my own hands, with my own hands, 10 Israelis." I forgot the name of the community. I think it's 10 Israelis. And they were so proud of him and congratulated him. And he was so proud of himself. And then they asked him, "Are you coming back home now?" And he said, "No, I have to kill more. I'm going to continue." And this is horrifying. This is how you educate your children. And the second one is the last sentence here, that you hear in all the footage. They were shouting, "Allahu Akbar, God is great." So basically murdering on the name of God. For me, this is desecrating the name of God, and it is so, for me, a person who, again, I'm a person who believes in God, and this was really horrific to hear this. You can see here briefly just a map of the scope. They were able to enter Israel until about 40 kilometers More than 30 communities were basically, most of those communities were gone, sort of you cannot live there. They burned houses, and most of them were now by 5 kilometers from there have been evacuated. I'm not going to count everything, but this is the scope of the attack of October 7, not mentioning the missiles and the rockets that were launched towards Israel. I'll do this very briefly, but this is footage of the atrocities that were done, which is, I mean, beheading, burning people. I'll skip this quickly. We took more than 240 hostages, including this lady who's 84 years old. They took Holocaust survivors into Gaza, women, children, no mercy. The Bibas family, which is still held captive until now, parents with Phil, who was 9 months old and is going to be 1 year and 1 month old soon. They are 112 days by now, held captive in Gaza, haven't seen a doctor, nobody has seen them until now. And so the parents and the 2 children are still held in Gaza. I've talked about the tunnels, just a few footage of the tunnel, which you can see even here. A few of those shafts had elevators to go up and down from between the ground and the underground world. You can see here the size of it, in something you could ride a car inside. And these were under mosques. Yeah, they had shafts into children's bedrooms, into schools operated by UNRWA. And I'm happy to address questions about UNRWA later, the UN, in mosques, hospitals, and that's a reason why the IDF has to enter into those places, because there is not one innocent institution that the Hamas was not using for the purpose of implementing the terror attack against Israel. So until now we have, 121 days in captivity. We have 136 that are held by Hamas in Gaza. 4 of them were kidnapped already in 2014 and 132 from the last attack. We had 1 exchange, and to talk about it, we have until now about 200,000 Israelis that are displaced from their homes from both north and south and north of Israel. More than 14,000 rockets that were launched by Hamas into Israel. I think now it's more than 14,700. And then again, you can see the statistics here. So it's very, very, and when I talk about it, I ask what government would not respond when a terror organization is attacking. And now we cannot stop until we know, and that's the most important part here. We have to make sure the Hamas, and this is Palestinian Islamic Jihad. These are 2, the Hamas is the main one, Islamic Jihad is the second one, and we have to make sure that it cannot attack Israel again. The Israeli government would not allow it to happen again. It is our duty, our responsibility to the Israeli civilians. Secondly, of course, return of the hostages, and then we have to restoring security and for people to be able to come back to live in the communities. So these are the goals of the war. Now, what's happening in other parts of Israel? This is the statistics here are much, much higher. We have, the numbers are, I think they're about almost 20 Israelis killed from rocket launches from Lebanon to Israel, more injured, but I think this shows very, very well the map. Basically, this entire area is supposed to be controlled by the UN, by UNIFIL. Practically, the border here between Lebanon and Israel, this is the northern point of Israel, southern point of Lebanon, is controlled by Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a Shia organization, also supported by Iran, and they are launching attacks on a daily basis since October 7 against Israel. It's not full-scale war, but also here communities up to 5 kilometers from the border have been evacuated into Israel. Nobody can live there, and there are daily attacks against those communities. So this is our challenge in Lebanon, northern part of Israel. And let's bring into the picture the third terror organization. This is Yemen. And this will give you a bit about the strategic situation of Israel in the Middle East. This is Yemen. The Houthis are controlling most of Yemen. Houthis is a terror organization supported, known internationally by Iran. They used to fight with Saudi Arabia and with the UAE. After October 7, 3 weeks after they declared war against Israel, they launched ballistic missiles and drones against Israel far here. They were intercepted. Some of the drones fell in Egypt, but luckily enough, none hit Israel. But this is another front, which is the southern tip of Israel. But of course, ballistic missiles go much further beyond. Since then, the Houthis are, as you know, are also attacking shipping lines. There are 17 Filipino who are held hostage on a ship held by the Houthis. This is very important because the Suez Canal is the quickest way for a lot of the shipping lines crossing the Red Sea and the Suez Canal to the Mediterranean and to Europe. Now, the shipments will take 2 weeks longer, and of course, insurance is more expensive. So this is where we are. Just to say from Hezbollah it's here. They have missiles, and they can cover the entire range of the state of Israel, and some of them are what you call smart missiles. I'll talk now about Iran. Iran is the main strategic threat for the state of Israel, and why? Number one, Iran since 1979, the Islamic Revolution. They are also they don't call Israel by name. They say the Zionist entity, but they basically in their agenda is to destroy Israel. No recognition of Israel. Cyber attacks. They have, as you know, they're working on nuclear military program, which is very close. There were sanctions. This is very, very disturbing. If they have nuclear capability, that's you know not only a red light, but that's something that cannot happen for Israel. Missile capabilities they already have. As you know, they're also helping the Russians in the war against Ukraine, supplying them weapons. So they have, and they support terrorism. How do they support terrorism in the region? Through proxies. Hamas, which is based in Gaza, West Bank, and in the region. Islamic Jihad, the same. Hezbollah in Lebanon, Yemen, and then there are other Shia militia in Syria and Iraq, which are now, of course, as you know, are launching attacks against American bases. And how do they support them? Ideology, financing, at least $50 million a year from Iran. Weapons supply, they smuggle weapons, they go to Iran for training and everything else. It's not speculations. On the diplomatic front, very briefly, of course, bilateral international political support for Israel, and soon I'll talk about the Philippines. But of course, it's a cause of interest and alarm all around the world. Issues of public opinion. So political, public opinion, United Nations, as you know, in the UN, the Palestinians have what we call an automatic majority. When there is a vote, they call the non-aligned movement, which is the Arab countries, and all the non-aligned movement, which includes the Philippines. And here, basically, we lose these kind of votings, unlike Security Council, where there is a veto power, and it's much more sensitive, and there are no really extreme decisions regarding Israel. UN General Assembly, every year there are at least 20 anti-Israeli resolutions, every year, which are passed. International Court of Justice, as you know, South Africa is supporting Hamas. It was quite shocking that on October 8th, South Africa leaders called the Hamas leadership to express their sympathy to Hamas a day after they launched their attack against Israel. So quite unbelievable, and they're the ones trying to lead the legal process against Israel. International Court of Justice basically is still looking into it, but Israel is operating according to the international law. We are fully working according to national law, and I can explain about it later. It's a bit complicated. We're seeing an alarming growth of anti-Semitic, not only anti-Semitic statements, but physical attacks against people and against Jewish establishment. And the Jewish people today in many countries, you know, I'm going here with my kippah on, Many people are afraid to be identified publicly as Jewish, very alarming. Well, are, I would say quickly, resilient. We are facing in the past persecutions, we had wars. Unfortunately, our neighbors, it's not a friendly neighborhood, trying to be destroyed, terror attacks. We are resilient. A lot of patriotism now. Israelis are volunteering even to the IDF. Israelis were flying back to Israel from all over the world, including from the Philippines, on October 6, 7, 8, finding ways to come back to Israel to join the IDF. We called in 350,000 reservists to the army. Until now, we still have, I think, about 300,000 still in service because of the war. Israeli society is very united when it comes to the state of Israel. And finally, soon I'll talk about it, the spirit of innovation and finding creative solutions to difficult challenges, which is an ongoing thing. Briefly about the Philippines, I met the president a few days after the attack, and he expressed his sympathy and condemned the terror attack against Israel. Very, very good meeting and very good statement, which put the Philippines really in where it should be, because we have very close and good relationship for years. I'll talk about it briefly. Camille is a caregiver who saved her employer, who is 95 years old. Camille, I don't know how it happened with a smiling face, but she gave money to the Hamas operatives who came into their house. They live next to Gaza. The Hamas terrorists came into the house. She told them, look, she's 95. I'm flying tomorrow to the Philippines. This is all the money I have. Take my money, take my phone, leave us alone. And this is what they did. So really amazing. This is Jimmy Pacheco, who was held hostage. There were 2 Filipinos held hostage by Hamas to be released later on. So this is Jimmy Pacheco. We had a campaign to bring awareness to those that are still kidnapped, the 136 kidnapped, on jeepneys in Metro Manila. We are, out of the 30,000 OFWs that Israel is hosting, I think maybe between 300 to 400 only has to be repatriated, and some of them are already returning to Israel, meaning Filipinos are feeling comfortable in Israel. This is, we had the memorial service for the 4 Filipinos who were murdered in October 7. There were 4 Filipinos. I went to visit the wakes. I went to their homes to visit the wakes, to pay my respects, and they will be fully supported. The families will be fully supported by the Israeli government like any other Israeli victim of terror. And this is fun. Really, they're going to get, in US amounts, it's more than $2,000 a month from the Israeli government in order to give them an income, since the main breadwinner lost his life in Israel by a terror attack, and they're getting exactly the same support as Israeli victims, no difference. And finally, Cedric, who is Cedric Garin, the son of an undocumented OFW in Israel. He lost his life in battle as a soldier, Filipino-Israeli or Israeli-Filipino. And after he died, really, he actually made a very good name for the Philippines, because actually an amazing soldier who started as a dropout of high school, who got into trouble with police, and he took the opportunity when he could join the military service, and he changed his life. And he was an excellent soldier, was awarded very high awards in Israel. Unfortunately, he was killed with 23 other soldiers a couple of weeks ago. We made sure we flew the father from here, from Mindanao to Israel for the funeral, and the same, his family will be helped by Israel. Briefly about, wow, the time is running. Israel, Philippines, 1938, President Quezon. So I want to, jump to the close relations. He allowed 1,300 Jewish refugees to have safe haven here, fleeing from Nazi Germany. 1947, Philippines was the only country in Asia to support a UN resolution on the establishment of the homeland for the Jews, absolutely. And this is the reason why what I would say, walang visa, Filipinos do not need a visa when they travel to Israel, is because of these 2 historical events, which are so meaningful and important. We established diplomatic relations in 1957. Since then, a lot of collaboration. Israel was one of the biggest supporters after Typhoon Yolanda in 2013. The biggest field hospital was flown over by Israel. Masham does a lot of training and projects in the Philippines in many areas. As I said, we host about 30,000 Filipinos in Israel. A lot of economic collaboration, specifically on technologies. 2022 was a peak year. Well, we don't have yet the final figures of last year, but we crossed $500 million of trade, defense, electronics, ICT, telecom, agriculture, water, cybersecurity, and talk about more. A lot of people-to-people exchange, a lot of visits, including President Duterte visited Israel in 2018. Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs visited last year. So a bit about the bilateral cooperation. Well, this is just a quick footage. This is a new joint venture between Metro Pacific and the Israeli LR company in agriculture. It's a joint venture in a few projects, and I'll talk about it. And then visits, and let's go quickly to where we are. Just regarding the tools for collaboration, we signed in 2021, very important. We opened at the embassy 2 new offices, Ministry of Economy, Trade Attaché or Commercial Attaché in the ministry with a team of 4 people working on economic collaboration, on partnerships, and the representative of the Ministry of Defense because of the growing, Israel became one of the important suppliers of technologies in defense. June 2022, we signed a protection and promotion of investments agreement collaboration on innovation, and establishing a joint economic committee. And we hope to sign more this year. So many trade delegations are organized, and there is an economic team and myself who are actually dedicating ourselves to promoting economic collaborations. Tourism, which is growing, was unbelievable. The numbers were, in 2019, we had, from January to September, 18,800 Filipino tourists to Israel, which was a peak year. Last year, it went up to 24,500, so basically 30% more. Without the war, it would have been a peak year. For that reason, we're trying to work on direct flights. Okay, it's becoming really time is short, and I want to have some time for questions. Israel is a leading country on innovation. Just 2 figures. Israel, a population of 9.5 million people, but in Israel we have an estimated number of 9,000 startups. Israel is today number 14 in one of the scales of innovation, used to be higher. Israel is number 1 globally in investment, GDP per capita invested in innovation, portion of GDP into innovation, 5.4%, which is highest in the world. So there are many more indicators that Israel is really one of those leading, what we call a global hub of innovation. So Israel is, I think, number 3, the number of companies registered in NASDAQ after New York and San Francisco. So really impressive. And what is the vision when I came to the Philippines? Knowing that Israel is a hub of innovation, is a hub of technology, and I see Israel as basically creating bridges of innovation and technology between Israel and the Philippines. And this is my vision and my mantra, and I'm here in order to work with people on how we can create better collaborations, bringing Israeli startup nation approach and innovation and entrepreneurship to bring it here to the Philippines in order to work together in a country which has so many challenges. And I think the Israeli approach can turn those challenges to opportunities. Why Israel is so innovative, it's another lecture, but I think having no resources, because we are dry land, not enough water, not enough soil, that made us innovate. We had so many enemies. It made us innovate in our defense technologies, and to not mention them, on education, the way of thinking. In Jewish tradition, education is number 1 top priority. First institution in any Jewish community is, first of all, to have schools. The chutzpah, which means to be cheeky, basically, you have to challenge, you have to ask questions because you have to do better and to reach to the source of the matter, to understand exactly what is the issue, and then you can understand what is the solution. Priority areas that we are working on would be agriculture, water, cybersecurity, ICT, and I would say fintech, telecom, medical technologies, and energy. These are top priority. And I have like a small innovation council, and people that are interested in innovation, I'll be happy to invite you to get involved. Oh, sorry, okay, I'll go over this very briefly. Sorry, yeah, okay. I mean, this is the final pitch program of John Aguilar, if you're familiar on innovation, startups, and I was judge there. This is about Israeli agriculture in the Philippines, different Israeli technologies in the Philippines here and here on agriculture. This is a sari-sari store. The entire chain is using Israeli technology, and this is bringing an Israeli delegation. There are many ways to cooperate, either through agro-studies is what we call on-the-job training. We invite Filipinos for 11 months to Israel to do internship in agriculture. This is done a program done with TESDA and with an Israeli company or agency called agro-studies, supervised by the Israeli government. We have every year between 500 to 600 Filipinos that come for 11 months. They study and they work 5 days a week. They work, and not only the technologies, but the approach of what is smart economic agriculture. Mashav is the Israeli Development Agency, which does mostly training and capacity building programs. Anyway, we do introduction to companies. We bring speakers to events. We can organize webinars and different events, delegations to Israel and professional visits, and also, of course, delegations to the Philippines. Go to the more pictures of those activities. So here we have a partnership in Tarlac. We donated some agriculture technologies, what we call Smart Agricultural Center, and I went there just a few weeks ago for the harvest after the end of the training program they did there. These are blue and white balloons to remember the hostages that are still kidnapped in Gaza. This one here is we donated also Smart Agriculture Technologies open field. This is greenhouse, this is open field, and we donated it in to Central Luzon State University and a group of alumni of Israel to 10 leading farmers in Nova Ecija. Mashav training programs, and including we brought a CLIC, which is an innovation immersion program done by government, inspired by the Aboitis group that came back from Israel, and this led to this visit, and we hope to have another immersion visit on innovation to Israel. So this year, this is the internship program for 11 months. You can see I visited the sort of the interns in the farms. We introduced this cacao producing a Filipina who is into cacao, and this is some of the results after she's been working with a team of Israeli experts, and the results look unbelievably successful. It's a year and a half. It takes a long time, but it looks very, very successful using not only the drip irrigation, but it's also a lot of other aspects of Israeli technologies and approaches. Water management solutions, which are being here, some are donated. This is operated by one of the big companies here. Cybersecurity, a lot of Israeli, so I'll mention it. Delegations to the Philippines. Minister Eli Cohen came here last June with a big business delegation. Cybersecurity ecosystem here in the Philippines. We brought some Israeli companies. We took a water company delegation to Manila and to Cebu. This is again agriculture in Davao. Delegations to Israel, difficult even to count, but we had here with the Secretary still 2022, Mon Lopez. But here this is the business delegation from Cebu focusing on the water. This is the startup week of DLD in Tel Aviv. Fintech Alliance went to Israel. John Aguilar visited Israel to the Mobility Ecomotion Week. And this is the MVP group, went to see some sport tech. and this is another delegation which on Cyber Week. Two more important delegations. Digital Filipinas was in Israel, and this one is the visit of the Aboitis group, which was focusing on a few areas. Okay, we do webinars, and Maraming Salamat. I think I talked for too long. My apologies. Sorry for being so long.
It's fine. No, thank you so much. A round of applause for Ambassador Ilan Fluss. So please stay, everyone. Before we proceed, I was just informed that there will be a raffle. There will be a winner announced before we adjourn the meeting, and it's a complimentary lunch or dinner for two at the Escolta, so buffet, after this. So the kind ambassador has agreed to a very open forum. And equally important, President Bing has given me the green light to extend us another 10 minutes because this is a very interesting topic. So fellow Rotarians, please, there is a reason why I was selected as moderator and enforcer, okay? For the House rules, it's gonna be very, very simple. We will be respectful with our questions. We will be brief and time-saving with our questions as well. And as good Rotarians, we will be sensitive and think of our fellow Rotarians who also intend to ask their own questions. On that note, we'll have past President Tony first, and then Boy Arteche, PP Fred, okay, and then our members from Governor Edna's club. We have one there, please. Just give me a sign if we can still accommodate you. Thank you.
Ambassador Fluss, thank you for coming. I enjoyed your talk very much. I have two questions. Since there's limited time, if you could answer very quickly. They're not difficult questions. First question is, before October 7, Israel and Saudi Arabia were supposed to sign something, an accord, which of course was derailed. What were they supposed to agree upon or something? Could you share with us?
Okay. Israel was, in the last few years, there was strategic change in the position of Israel in the Middle East. I think before, when you talked about Chris introduced me, I was a special envoy of our Director General. Actually, I was based in the Gulf. Then it was a secret operation. Now it's not anymore. I was living in Bahrain for 2 years before we had relationship. Because the Gulf countries are moderate countries, we're interested in relationship with Israel.
I've never been to Holy Land. When can I go?
No, that's a very important question because I can tell you that even now, the school groups from the Philippines traveling to Israel, the pilgrimage, the visit, Israel is open to tourists, hotels are open, restaurants are open, you can go there. Of course, people don't go to the borders and to the problematic areas, but groups already do.
Thank you. We now have Boy Arteche.
Good afternoon. Again, Ambassador, I've been to we have a sense of single the many European users the war, several decades here Israel is being now I say because here majority of the members of the world, and I say never.
Thank you very much. I'm sure the ambassador appreciates. Now, we have past president Seb Parungao, number 3, and then JE, number 4. That's our number.
Considering the very sophisticated intelligence, what is the reason why October 7 happened?
How long do we have? But let me first of all say thank you very much for the solidarity and support. It is very, very important to do that. We sometimes we feel and the growing anti-Semitism around the world, it shows anti-Semitism, the Philippines is no history of anti-Semitism. As you know, many countries are, and now they are rising once again, and it is the reason for the difficult but I'll be very it's a very good question. The into it, meantime, the anyway. So these two pieces of information, but generally speaking, it's not about the technology and the technology that we do, it's about the strategy and the concept. As I said before, Israel was to be given, we are focusing on economic security, economic development, trading, economic building, and things like that. But the motive will not be there, the civilians will be there. We were mistaken, and then we can say that they planned this attack long time in advance, but there was failure. Intelligence, failure of decision makers, failure of strategy, failure of conception, design. This will be investigated in all different layers, but not now when we are in the middle of the war and soldiers are being killed on a daily basis. So it will not happen now. But of course there was a
followed by past president Cesar Campo.
nothing. Hello, everybody. My question is, not enough at home. Yeah. So we're not going to enter into the territory dispute because we have globalization to the defense of the here, we have very critical technology that we can supply to the Navy, Coast Guard, to the Army, and to the Air Force, different systems, including the Canal, to the military, and the transport, which is being used already, and air defense systems, here there are many systems that we can handle, but in that aspect, I think we are not only sharing the platforms, but also our experiences and how to operate them in the best way. And these are systems that have been proven in combat, unfortunately. There are also other areas such as cybersecurity. We have here represented part of Blue Voyan, who is here, of course, on the commercial side. So that different, and we had already one dialogue together with you in counterterrorism. Maybe people don't know, but one of the changing points in the Marawi siege was bringing in very sophisticated technology. So we also have a dialogue on counterterrorism and cybersecurity. We have a dialogue government to government. There are many other questions.
Thank you, Excellency. Two very last questions, PP Cesar, and then past President Eddie.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you for this. But I'd like to question the fact that they were able to establish 750 kilometers of tunnel. Was there not only a failure of intelligence, but why were they able to start making that tunnel? What was the reason that they were allowed to start a tunnel?
Well, Israel is not the government in Gaza. The government in Gaza is Hamas. So Israel is not inside Gaza. There was a failure of intelligence, and we allowed also so much cement, and this was, by the way, pressure of the international community and the UN to allow more and more to come in because we don't want people to suffer. However, what they did is channeled it for the Hamas usage because it's a Hamas government. And Israel is not the government there. We are outside trying to prevent as much as possible developing terrorism. I read about it. I don't know the details. It's about different technologies, how to fight tunnels. I can tell you in this war, it's the most sophisticated technology war that we had because of fighting in so many different levels and the coordination between all the different units, which is unbelievable what was done, and a lot of new technologies for the first time we used in this war, which made it from day to day much more efficient and much better. I want to say just one more word not about the war, but the collaboration, because I think it's important. The Philippines is facing challenges of food security, of prices of vegetables, of food, production, importing of rice, importing of sugar, and so on. And I believe that by working together, and this is what we're trying to do, to bring Israeli companies, to create joint ventures here in the Philippines, to work together, to bring not only the technologies, it's also an approach and a mindset in order to address those challenges. This is for me top priority. And I think we can do so much together.
I apologize before I acknowledge the last Rotarian to ask. I had to already refuse 3 Rotarians here and 2 Rotarians here for the sheer lack of time. My apologies. So, PP Eddie, for the very last one.
Mr. Ambassador, we know that the war in Gaza has to end sometime. My question is, after the military objectives of Israel is attained, what is the future of Gaza that Israel intends?
Well, as long as there is no terror threat from Gaza, Gaza should be developed to the benefit of the Palestinians living in Gaza. But we need the assurances that there is no terror attacks from Gaza. What kind of, who would control, what kind of government, This has to be negotiated and agreed upon. But you have to understand that Israel sees threat coming from Palestinian terrorist organizations and is still not fully recognized its existence. And that's very important to understand. The Philippines as a country is here to stay. Nobody doubts the right of the state, the Republic of the Philippines, to exist. The state of Israel is not therefore granted if we don't have our security assurances that we are accepted, that we are not again targeted and trying to eliminate us, then all the nations in Middle East will flourish. But we need those assurances. The political outcome of it is very complicated. It's a very political question, of course, and we have our own politics at home, which are extremely complicated, so I will not go into it. But what will be the political outcome after the military ends the operation? It's something to be negotiated, number one, internally in Israel between our different political parties, and of course, we have the US, who is our main strategic ally, and we have the international community, and we have to try to work together on identifying the best solution that will bring, and that's the most important thing to understand, bring safety for Israelis.
Just follow up. What is the in Gaza that will be acceptable to Israel?
That's a political question. For sure, not Hamas. We have also a challenge with the Palestinian Authority, which is also not really fighting terrorism and not working to create good neighborly relations between us and our Palestinian neighbors. So we have to find the right solution. Will it be already now a Palestinian state, which is, as you know, there's a lot of pressure to have a Palestinian state. That really depends on the assurances, what kind of state or what kind of entity it will be, who will lead it, how it will be led, what will be the safety mechanisms for Israel, how do we know? To remind you, northern border, we have Hezbollah. What assurances do we have there in the north? So it's a very good question. Of course, if Saudi Arabia comes in and opens full diplomatic relations with Israel, it's another advantage. So it's a full, they're trying to do like a full package. Will it work or not? As you know, soon we have also elections in the US, so on and so forth. So it's very, very complicated. It's an open question I cannot address. I can just say extremely complicated. The politics in Israel also before were very complicated. And during the war, we are very united for the goals of the war, but still the political life, democracy in Israel is very vibrant. So how it will sort of sort out itself, too early to say.
Unfortunately, all good things need to come to an end. Please let us give a warm round of applause to His Excellency Ambassador Ilan Fluss. And on behalf of all the presidents, President Bing, can you please deliver your response?
Thank you very much, Ambassador Fluss, for the excellent presentation. As you can see from the kind of questions that were asked, people are still raring to ask you more questions. And one comment I'd like to give, though, in your presentation, you talk a lot about this collaboration, cooperation, and I think before the lunch we were just chatting about the possibility of how we could collaborate. You know, for some of our members here, you're aware, of course, that one of our plans is to utilize the Creativity Center for some seminars and, in fact, supporting perhaps organizations like Dual Tech who are now moving into agri-tech. So one of the things that Ambassador Fluss had indicated that perhaps we could have some sort of an arrangement where graduates of this, whatever course that we can put together, can be scholars that can be sent to Israel. But that would be a great project that we could work on. And I noticed that you did say that there's an open invitation to all the Innovative Council. And we do have a Hatch project, which is in fact meant to promote innovative projects. And we would love to be part of that council, if you may. Okay, with that, the only thing I could say is that really, entrench the relationship between your embassy, your country, and ourselves would be for you to be a member of Makati Rotary Club.
And of course,
thank you very much.
I would be more than privileged and honored to be, inviting Your Excellency. I'd be the proud sponsor.
Ambassador Fluss, let me explain to you what this is all about. Notice there's a plaque here. This is actually embedded in a reef bud that is planted in the sea to regenerate coral reef buds. So, this is just one example of the kind of projects that we have. So your name will be immortalized in that particular reef bud. And, well, we do have a book here, the past 55 years, although we're now going on 58, I think. And then finally, with some wine for you to drink when you're going through that book. Thank you again very much. Thank you.
So we will have the photo opportunity, but wait, before President Bing adjourns, please, for the patient ones who remained, there will be a winner to be announced electronically right now. So photo op. Did I see it correctly? We have to congratulate PP Junjun Dairit. He's the, I think that's fair. So he's the winner of the lunch for two. I hope Cecil knows about that. So, presidents, can you please collectively adjourn the meeting?
On behalf of all of the Rotary clubs. Oh, by the way, sorry. I think JM would like to present a certificate of appreciation as well.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. I'm honored to present the Certificate of Environment to Ambassador Fluss for one seedling planted in your name at the Rotary Club of Makati Premier District's Mangrove Tree Planting Project in Lagadrarin, Lobo, Batangas. The photo is there. Your name is there already. It's planted.
I have to say something. Last week we celebrated the Jewish New Year of the trees. And the custom in the Jewish, we have 4 different New Years. It's the New Year for the year. Anyway, one of them is the New Year for the trees, which is when we also plant, in our tradition, we plant trees. Second thing I want to say, my name is Ilan. It's not Ilan, how many in Tagalog, but it comes from Hebrew, which means actually a tree that bears fruit. So I'm very much connected to trees. So thank you very much. Thank you.
On behalf of all of the Rotary clubs who are present here, I'd like to call this meeting adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Ambassador.